There are things from your past that haunt you, mistakes, failures, choices you wish you could erase. And no matter how much time passes, no matter how different your life looks today, those memories follow you like a shadow you can't shake. And here's the part that makes it worse. Even if you've completely changed, even if the person you are today looks nothing like the person who made those decisions, you still carry this quiet, heavy feeling that those moments define you, that they are you. That feeling has a name, and more importantly, it has a cure. But before I give you the 3 steps that actually work to release it, I need to make sure you understand something that most people get completely wrong about shame. Because without this foundation, nothing else I tell you today will stick. Part 1. Guilt versus shame. The distinction that changes everything. In therapy, we draw a hard line between 2 things that most people use interchangeably: guilt and shame. And the difference between them is not just academic. It is the difference between something that helps you grow and something that quietly destroys you. Guilt is an acute feeling of regret about something specific you did. It says, I did something wrong. I failed at this. I made a mistake. Guilt is honest. Guilt is human. Every single person walking this earth has guilt because every single person has screwed something up. If someone tells you they have no guilt, they're either lying or they've stopped paying attention to their own life. Guilt, when it's working properly, is actually useful. It's feedback. It says, that didn't align with your values, adjust. It points at a behavior. It points at a moment. And then it lets you move on. Part 2. Step 1. Understand why shame exists. Before you can let go of shame, you need to understand why it exists at all. Because shame is not random. It has a function. And once you understand that function, you can start to see clearly when it is helping you and when it has become the very thing holding you back. There's a model in psychology called the stages of change. It describes the 5 steps people move through when they want to change something about themselves. The first stage is pre-contemplation. You either don't see the problem or you see it, but you're not willing to face it yet. Complete denial. The second is contemplation. You've acknowledged the problem exists and you know you need to do something about it, but you're not quite ready to commit. Third is preparation. You've made the decision to change and you're figuring out how. Fourth is action. You're actively doing the work. And fifth is maintenance. You've made the change and you're holding it. Here is where shame fits in, and this is the part almost nobody talks about. Shame is designed to move you from pre-contemplation into contemplation. That's it. That is its one job. When you are in complete denial about a problem, shame can break through that wall. It can force you to stop and say, okay, I have to look at this. I can't keep pretending this isn't happening. That is legitimate. That is shame doing what it was built to do. But here's the critical thing to understand. Once you have moved past that stage, once you have already decided you want to change, once you are already in preparation or action or maintenance, shame doesn't update its programming. It keeps pulling you backward. It keeps dragging you back into contemplation, back into, I need to fix this. I'm so horrible. How could I have done this? Even when you are already fixing it. Shame cannot tell the difference between someone who is still in denial and someone who is actively doing the work. It just keeps firing. So if you have already faced your past, already decided you want to be different, already taken steps to get there, shame is no longer your ally. It has become the anchor, and it is time to cut it loose. Part 4, Step 3, bring it into the light. This is the hardest step, and I want to give you fair warning. Your instinct is going to be to skip this one. The third step is to talk about it. I know. I can feel some of you tensing up right now, and I understand that reaction completely, because shame tells you, very convincingly, that what you are carrying is too heavy, too dark, too unforgivable for anyone else to hear. That if you let anyone in, they will judge you. They will leave. They will finally see you for what you really are. But here is what I have seen over and over in therapy. Shame grows in secrecy. It feeds on isolation. Every time you tell yourself no one can ever know this, you are building a wall that keeps the shame locked inside with no new information coming in, no outside perspective, no light. You become the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and you have already made up your mind. When you bring shame into a conversation, even one conversation with one person you trust, something changes. You get something you cannot give yourself: perspective, context, compassion from the outside. And here is what I can virtually guarantee: almost no one in your life is going to be as hard on you about your past as you have been on yourself. The people who love you will give you empathy. They will give you understanding. They will probably tell you about something they have done that you never knew about. And suddenly, the thing that felt like a unique mark of unworthiness starts to feel a little more like being human. You don't have to start with the biggest thing. Build a hierarchy. Start with the thing that carries the least weight. Tell one person, see what happens. Then take the next step when you're ready. The more light you let in, the less power the darkness has. Let me bring this together because I want you to leave here with something you can actually use. Shame is not a character flaw. It is not evidence that you are broken. It is a psychological mechanism that had a very specific job, and that job is finished. You have already moved past the point where it can help you. Now it is simply the weight you are carrying that is not yours to keep anymore. The 3 steps are not easy, but they are clear. First, understand that shame has expired. Once you have already decided to change, shame is no longer motivation. It is a liability. Give yourself permission to let it go. Second, catch the twist. Every time a thought moves from I did to I am, that is shame speaking. Pull it back. Put it in the past where it belongs. Third, bring it into the light. Find someone you trust. Start small. Let another human being see a piece of what you've been carrying alone. You will be surprised what happens when you stop being the only voice in the room. You are not your worst moments. You never were. The fact that those moments weigh on you at all, the fact that you are here, watching this, trying to understand, is evidence of exactly that. The person who doesn't care doesn't feel shame. You feel it because you care, because you want to be better, because somewhere underneath everything, you know you are more than what you did. Hold on to that. It's the most important thing you have. If this helped you, leave a comment below. Not what you plan to do, but what you recognized in yourself today. Those comments mean more than you know, and they help other people feel less alone. Subscribe if you want more of this, and I'll see you in the next one.